Hi guys, this is Ara. So I played a hand of poker last night that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to make a quick update on the vlog. And I got a request to make more videos, so that's why I decided to make this today. So I was playing 2-5 no limit. My starting stack was probably around $800, and someone from late middle position who was a very competent player opened to $20. Someone with a stack size of about 500 and change, who seemed like a really conservative player, called the $20. I was in the small blind, and I completed the $20, and the big blind called the $20. So there was about $80 in the pot. I had 5-6 of diamonds. So the cards came out: ace of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. So I had a pair and a flush draw. So normally I don't like to lead out into a group of people when I'm in the small blind. It's not my default play. But in this case, I wanted to get action from, number one, people that have flush draws, because I was winning with a pair of fives. And number two, I wanted to get action from people with an ace, because I am in very good shape with an ace and my hand is kind of hidden. It's kind of hard to guess what I have. So I decided to lead out half pot for $40. And the big blind, who was a very friendly guy with me, we were talking for a couple hours. He seemed to be a casual player with a lot of money. He decided to call the $40. The pre-flop raiser folded, and the conservative guy, who was in a previous pot with me with a little bit of attention, he decided to call the $40. So now the pot, pre-flop we had 80 in there, now we have another 120 in there. So the pot's $200. So I'm hoping for a 5 or a 6. I'm not hoping for a diamond, because I think that the flush is too obvious of a card, it's too obvious of a good hand. So even though trip 5s or 2 pair is not as good of a hand as a flush, I think it's a hand that I can make more money on because it's hidden. I can make more money against someone that has an ace or just a bigger flush draw. So when the turn comes out and it's a 5, I think it was a 5 of clubs in the flop and a 5 of spades on the turn. So now I have 3 5s and a flush draw. So I'm loving my hand. I decide to bet about 60% of the pot. I think I bet 120 or 125. I forget exactly which one. And the guy in the big blind, he folds pretty quickly. And the conservative guy, he thinks about it for a moment, and then he decides to stick in his whole stack of about almost $500. It was about $375 more for me to call, give or take. So I bet 125. He went over the top to 500 total, and I had to make a decision. So my first thought was that he's a conservative player, and he could easily call with pocket 2s for 20 pre-flop, slow play on the flop, just call my 40, and then decide it's time to take it down on the turn. So I was afraid he had pocket 2s. That was one of my first initial guesses. Other hands that he could have would be a king-high flush draw, and kind of doing a Barry Greenstein type of thing, where he decides to, instead of bluffing the flop, decides to bluff the turn because it's more hidden. He could also have a hand like king 5 of hearts, or 5-7 of hearts, one of those two types of hands, maybe 5-6 of hearts, something like that. So I thought he could have hands like that. He could also have hands like 3-5 of hearts and 4-5 of hearts. So I didn't think there's too many combinations of hands with a 5 in it, because one of his cards, if he had a 5, had to be the 5 of hearts. And since he's calling a pre-flop raise, the other card has to be a heart. So what are you going to call with a 5 of hearts? It could have been, it could have been ace 5 of hearts. I could have been completely dead. But, king 5 of hearts, maybe, probably not. 5-7 of hearts, 5-6 of hearts. 5-7 hearts I'm losing to, but not that bad, because I can catch a 6, the board can pair, or I can catch a diamond. He could have had 5-6 of hearts, so it's same hand as me, but I'm on a free roll with the flush draw. He could have also had hands like 5-4 hearts, 5-3 hearts, and now he has 3 5s at the straight draw. So what would you do? I'll give you a second to think. I decided that if he has pocket twos, I do have some outs against that. It's definitely the hand that I'm most afraid of, but I do have some outs. If he has a hand like king 5 of hearts, I have even more outs. I can catch the flush, I can catch a 6 for a better full house, or I can catch an ace or a 2 for a chop. And same thing if he has 5-7 hearts. If he has 5-6 of hearts, I'm on a free roll. If he has 5-4 hearts or 5-3 hearts, I'm in very good shape. But I was also considering, what are the chances that he just has ace-queen, and he just thinks I'm full of it. He didn't want to raise in the flop, and on the turn, he thinks the 5 is a relatively safe card. I could be betting with an ace, I could be betting with a flush draw, and the 5 is a relatively safe card. So, he could be, trying to basically take down the pot. Enough is enough. If he had a hand like ace-king, ace-queen, or ace-jack. Ace-king, maybe he didn't want to raise pre-flop, re-raise pre-flop. So I thought there were other hands that he could have. So even though I was scared of pocket twos, I did decide to make the call, and I kind of made a comment saying, I hope he doesn't have pocket twos. But he kind of knew my hand because I was kind of talking it through while I was thinking it out. And he ended up saying, good call. And I think he was implying that he had a hand like ace-queen or ace-jack. So I ended up getting the double up there. It was a pretty interesting hand, and it ended up giving me a pretty good win for the night. I think I played 4 hours, and I made a total of $884, I believe. So Twin River has been going pretty good. I'm going to be trying to play mostly 2-5 for the rest of the year. I think it's been going good. My average has been incredible, over $80 an hour. So I'm going to stick with it for now, and I will update you guys the next time I have an interesting hand. Bye.